Hello and welcome to the world of Project 3G, Mission with a Cause.
G3 app, Genius Guide and Guardian Angel, an educational application. The best solution for every stakeholder of education ecosystem, delivering through a personalized pedagogy and an individualized curriculum that is truly adaptive. Powered by the blend of latest cognitive technology and premium custom content to add value to the lives of billions of people by leading them to meaningful happiness, since each and every human in the world is unique and one size fits for all does not work. A disclaimer before we go ahead. This is a research-based project involving 7 years of in-depth R&D on market needs, feasibility, threats to mankind, society and nations, education, technology, neuroscience, psychology, epistemological elements of philosophy, world economics, and value systems. Most imperative for the survival of mankind in the rising era of cognitive technology. This presentation humbly intends to provide you an insight into our project, which cannot be demonstrated using a product prototype, as this is all about a disruptive ideological innovation using cognitive technology in a unique manner to create unified solution for the entire educational ecosystem to bring a societal impact which is significant. Hence, we kindly request your undivided attention to walk with us through these 3 steps. Detailed presentation about our ideological innovation, followed by sessions for brainstorming, question and answer, and discussions, and finally, to get fully calibrated with us, a due diligence visit to our R&D centers and headquarters. Our employability equation very clearly shows that ideally, after the completion of education, the evaluation systems should be able to supply highly competent, readily employable and productive candidates to the employment providers. This is what the employment segment expects from the education sector. The corporate needs millions of readily employable, highly competent and productive candidates. And there are over 10 million job seekers in India alone, crying out for jobs every day. This is a bit strange, because on one side we have employers who are looking for millions of candidates, and on the other side we have millions of job seekers. This clearly shows that there is a gap here. We call this employability gap, which means these job seekers are not suitable for the existing vacancies in the job market. This is the first problem we need to address. The root cause of all agitations across India and world is hence very clear. We were not able to provide the right employment to these citizens due to the lack of employability skills and capabilities in them, even though they are qualified and educated. And not sufficient jobs have been further created in the last 10 years, which could accommodate these existing employability skills versus job suitability issue. The industry has been expecting a solution from the academia, that is, schools and universities, for this huge gap, but unfortunately, nobody cared about this enough, and no one could actually bring any reformations on this matter till now. Everyone just blames the government for not having enough money, for not bringing significant reformations in education in the past 70 years of post-independence era, and also for having been lost in the mirage of skilling India. Even the private sector is not attracted to education due to very low and delayed return on investment. This gets worse because of over-regulation and increasing control in education space. Due to the immediate need of manpower, where they can't wait for another 10 to 15 years, the employers have lost faith in academia. When the gap between the job roles and availability of readily employable, competent and productive candidates started growing huge and continues to widen day after day. To solve this urgent issue, the industry came up with the improvised solution of doing campus recruitments to hand-pick candidates who they could possibly employ, followed by a deployment of apprenticeship model. employers adopted this practice as an employment policy worldwide, wherein an apprentice, after being recruited, is given intensive training and upskilling done both in-house or outsourced centers to bring them and make them fully capable for the new job requirements. Few countries like Germany, Switzerland and Austria have been even able to bring down unemployment to a bare minimum level by adopting this temporary model of up to 4 years of apprenticeship in spite of increased expenses. What makes this situation worse is that after spending so much of energy, time and money on this apprenticeship model of recruiting and then training so hard, we still cannot retain the employees, and this results in huge attrition. This is just like a transit travel where you enter from one side and exit from the other, exactly like in the airport. This is how the industry has addressed the effect of this issue and still strongly relies on this system. Sadly, no one has attempted to analyze the root cause for this problem of employability gap. And the outcome of this increasing employability gap was that a tremendous amount of stress got built up in the employment ecosystem over a period of time. Employees were frustrated and employers were getting more and more disappointed. And the attrition kept on increasing on the other hand. And while we were struggling with the attrition issue, a jugaad called gig economy took birth as an innovative solution. This is how employees and employers hit a new equation, giving birth to new ways of engagement such as freelance jobs, temporary employments, consultancies, independent contracts, office-less jobs, work-from-home options and so on, to create a win-win situation. Well, I think people might have just thought that managing to live together was surely a better way than divorce. And prediction is that majority of the jobs in future will be in this manner. But how long can this continue? This sort of a solution is not really addressing the root cause. Who will address this serious problem of employability gap? The government, or the industry, or the academia? The fact is that the root cause of this problem lies within the cells, veins, blood, and inside the entire education ecosystem, academia. Few people around the world have found out this and tried to give some sort of solutions or remedies for some parts of this ecosystem, but could never do it as a whole. They are still trying, but we have not yet found a perfect, holistic solution for this problem. Let us now go further and take a closer look at our educational ecosystem. Our education ecosystem has surely evolved over centuries, right from the Gurukul era of education, that is 1.0, which was all about high-quality education through maximum human engagement but only accessible to an elite set of individuals, to Education 2.0, where the focus shifted from human engagement factor to age of machines around 300 years ago, wherein the machines replaced human labor in most of the activities that needed physical human strength, and global value chain kept growing larger and larger due to the Industrial Revolution. So from a very small group of focused learning, education moved on to one-to-many teaching, wherein the objective was to create a mass education and certification mechanism to produce skillful labor force in huge magnitudes so that people and machines can work hand in hand in a process-driven manner to churn out the best productivity and maximum efficiency. But today, we have stepped into the era of Education 3.0, wherein we still have information and knowledge at our fingertips, that too for free, and our jobs are getting automated using high-end technology. But with education system evolving with time, the most important question still remains unanswered, and that is, what can ensure that we get into the right jobs as per our individual preferences, likes, interests, passions, talents, as per our inborn potential? Albert Einstein once said that everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it's stupid. In our education system, just like this teacher, we are still trying to teach the fish and everyone else in the line how to climb the good old tree. This leads us to the next very crucial world problem. Wrong person at the wrong place. WP. The fact is that there is no scientific or proven system to identify the real capabilities of an individual. Whether a toddler, child, or a school, university student, or a matured, grown-up person, this leads us to a wrong direction in career and life in general. 90% of us are neither aligned to our capabilities nor with our passions. We are just WP at WP. Wrong person at the wrong place. Just imagine how many Steve Jobs, APJ Abdul Kalams, Jack Ma's would we have lost due to this problem across centuries of our existence. We just live our entire lives building someone else's dreams, but not ours. Unfortunately, the life we enjoy today in the world is due to the invention and innovation of just 10% of the total world population. That is, only 2% of the total population are by choice and 8% accidentally able to convert their passions into professions. The worst thing is that we never even realize that the first step of education is supposed to be identifying one's inborn potential and capabilities before even beginning to teach, train, skill, or pour the unlimited canned and packaged knowledge into him or her. And then moving on to second step was to make him capable to decode his or her own inborn potential by themselves as per the various needs, passions, interests and preferences to help him or her become an RPRP, that is right person at the right place, as step number 3. This could have been the right approach of imparting education, but only if we could get to the root cause. Let us now move on further to understand how technology has affected our lives and how it leads us to the problem number 3. I'm talking about the evolution of technology over the past 155 years and the new future. As per KPMG, 100 years has been ruled by mechanical systems, giving us industrial productivity, especially in the field of production engineering. And the next 35 years were the era of information systems, which helped us improve our processes and was functional in process reengineering. And the next 15 years was ruled by the internet systems, which is cost arbitrage across global integrated enterprise. The 5 years after that was ruled by cloud systems, wherein the big data and analytics had a role to play to create smarter enterprises. And the future lies in the hands of cognitive systems, which guarantee to give us a new leverage model to produce unconstrained innovation. This report from Accenture shows how cognitive robotics, empowered by artificial intelligence, became capable of perception, planning, memory, and reasoning just like humans. Further into the latest developments, IBM Watson claims that cognitive technologies can now mimic human activities. That is, perceiving, inferring, gathering evidence, making hypotheses, and even reasoning. Machines can now learn, adapt, sense, and experience the world by mimicking the human senses in their own way. See, smell, touch, taste, and hear. And this is how we come to the problem number 3, vanishing jobs. Because with the rise of machines, we are losing jobs to the robots at a very fast rate. As per the World Bank Development Report in 2016, over 80% of the world population will be losing their jobs to automation. This is actually worse than global warming. As per the report from Indian Ministry of Labour and Employment, around 1 million jobs are needed in India every month. And this continues for the next 20 years, which means our yearly job deficit exceeds the total population in over 158 countries, which includes Singapore, Hong Kong, Sweden, Belgium, Switzerland, Finland, New Zealand, UAE, and many more. In other words, in the next 2 decades, that is by 2035, we will need almost 300 million jobs. That is the aggregated population of 138 countries out of 233 countries we have in the world. Just imagine by 2020, the entire world will need more than 500 million jobs. And who is going to create these many jobs? Many have even started calling this magnitude of job-seeking humans a forgotten generation. This proves that if not addressed, our demographic dividend will prove to be a demographic disaster. Let's do a quick recap of the 3 major problems we at Project 3G will be addressing. Number 1 is how to identify and decode the inborn potential to help a learner understand who am I, what is my real capability and potential, and how to utilize my potential to the fullest as per my needs, desire, interests, and capabilities. And unfortunately, we do not have a scientific proven working mechanism for this until today. Number 2, current education system is unable to produce readily employable, competent, productive workforce as per the industry's needs. Number 3, the rise of disruptive era of cognitive technology, which is eating up all the jobs around the world at a speed which we cannot fathom. Let's save the mankind together. Join us at the Mission with a Cause.